Under the blistering Flushing Meadows lights, as the U.S. Open crowd holds its breath after a razor-thin victory, Taylor Townsend extends a hand in sportsmanship, only for Yelena Ostapenko to shatter the silence with words that echo like a thunderclap across the tennis world. No class. No education. The air thickens, accusations fly, and in a heartbeat, a routine post-match handshake erupts into a firestorm of racism claims that could derail careers and ignite global outrage. But hold tight, what if those venomous whispers weren't just a slip of the tongue, but the unraveling of a deeper divide in the sport's glittering facade? Stick around as we peel back the layers of this explosive clash that has everyone from Naomi Osaka to Coco Gauff demanding answers. Smash that subscribe button right now for your daily dose of unfiltered tennis drama. It's the only way to stay ahead of the spins and scandals. In the sweltering humidity of Arthur Ashe Stadium, the second-round showdown between these two warriors unfolds like a high-stakes thriller. Townsend, the trailblazing American with her unapologetic flair and fierce advocacy for body positivity in a sport that once shunned her curves, battles back from the brink to edge out Ostapenko 7-5, 4-6, 6-3. The Latvian firecracker, known for her explosive ground strokes and zero-filter bravado that won her the 2017 French Open crown, feels the sting of that fateful net cord, a lucky break that hands Townsend a crucial point without apology. As the final point lands, the handshake at the net turns icy, lips move, words slice through the cheers. Ostapenko's frustration boils over, her broken English carrying barbs that Townsend later reveals cut deep: no class, no education. Whispers ripple through the stands. Did she just weaponize stereotypes against a black woman who's fought tooth and nail to claim her space on these courts? The moment hangs suspended, a powder keg lit by one unfiltered outburst. Townsend, composure cracking just a fraction, holds her ground, her eyes flashing defiance as officials usher them apart. Back in the locker rooms, the divide widens. Ostapenko storms off, muttering about disrespect, while Townsend confides to her team that the words felt like a targeted assault, echoing the microaggressions she's endured since breaking barriers as a teen mom in an elitist game. Hours later, social media ignites, clips of the tense exchange go viral, dissected frame by frame. Fans rally behind Townsend, her resilience a beacon in the backlash. But then, the surprise twist drops like a serve at 140 miles per hour. Ostapenko, far from backing down initially, takes to Instagram with a defiant post, claiming Townsend's silence on the net cord was the real rudeness, oblivious to the racial undertones her phrasing evokes. The tennis universe fractures. Defenders hail Ostapenko's passion as cultural misunderstanding, while critics, led by Osaka's blistering tweet calling it one of the worst things to say to a black player, demand accountability. As the tournament roars on, this sideline skirmish steals the spotlight, forcing the WTA to issue a vague statement on respect. Yet beneath the headlines, a quieter storm brews. How does a sport built on grace confront its shadows when icons clash not with rackets, but with raw, unhealed wounds? Dive into Tennis Insider, your courtside seat to the secrets, scandals, and superstars shaping the game. Hit play and let's unpack more. The fallout cascades like a relentless rally, pulling in heavyweights and exposing tennis's fragile underbelly. Naomi Osaka, the voice of a generation scarred by her own battles with mental health and racial scrutiny, doesn't mince words. Those insults, she declares on her platform, strike at the heart of black excellence in a whitewashed arena. Coco Gauff, the teen prodigy who's risen as a social justice warrior, echoes the sentiment, her post-match presser turning into a masterclass on allyship, urging the tour to foster real dialogue over damage control. Townsend, ever the fighter, channels the hurt into fuel, advancing deeper into the draw with serves that scream vindication, her every winner a silent rebuke. But Ostapenko? The plot thickens with a jaw-dropping pivot. She doubles down in a press conference, her eyes blazing as she recounts the net cord slight, insisting her words were about manners, not malice, a plea wrapped in the armor of a non-native speaker navigating a second language's minefield. The room gasps. Is this denial or a desperate grasp at innocence? Whispers of cultural clash surface, Ostapenko's Latvian roots, forged in post-Soviet grit where directness trumps delicacy, clashing against America's heightened sensitivity to coded language. Yet the surprise lands harder. Leaked audio from the exchange, surfacing anonymously on Reddit, captures the full venom, Ostapenko's tone laced with a dismissiveness that chills even neutral observers. The WTA scrambles, launching an internal review amid sponsor jitters. Nike, Townsend's powerhouse backer, stays mum, but the silence roars. Off-court, the narrative weaves through personal tapestries, Townsend's journey from wheelchair-bound prodigy to maternal icon, her vulnerability a strength that now galvanizes a movement. Ostapenko, meanwhile, reflects in rare vulnerability on her own isolation as an Eastern European outsider, her fire a shield against the loneliness of the tour. Allies emerge unexpectedly, former rivals like Serena Williams inner circle weigh in subtly, praising Townsend's grace under fire. As Flushing's finals approach, the air crackles with unresolved tension, boycotts trend, petitions circulate, and the sports gatekeepers face a reckoning. Will this spark systemic change, or fade like so many flare-ups before? The ball's in their court, bouncing unpredictably toward a verdict that could redefine respect in the whites. As the dust settles on that fateful August evening, Ostapenko's world tilts on its axis, her apology, a terse Instagram scroll 2 days later, landing like a lob that's too short to clear the net. I used the wrong words, she admits, English not my first language, but my intention was never to offend. The post, laced with emojis that feel forced against the gravity, draws a mixed roar, forgiveness from some diehards who see her as the misunderstood maverick, scorn from others who brand it performative allyship at best. Townsend responds with measured poise in a CBS interview, her voice steady as she unpacks the weight. It's not just about me, it's about every girl who looks like me feeling safe to swing without second-guessing slurs disguised as critique. The moment of revelation hits like an ace. Buried in the apology's fine print, Ostapenko reveals a deeper layer, a childhood idolizing Townsend's unfiltered joy, twisted by competitive fury into unintended barbs. Fans reel. Was this clash born of admiration gone awry, or a symptom of unchecked privilege in a global game? The WTA's probe concludes quietly, a wrist-slap fine and mandatory sensitivity training for Ostapenko, fueling cries of inadequacy from advocacy groups. Yet in the quiet aftermath, bridges tentatively form, a private Zoom call brokered by mutual agents, where tears flow and truths surface, Townsend extending olive branches with stories of her own missteps, Ostapenko opening up about the pressures of her lone wolf persona. The sport exhales, but scars linger, a cautionary tale etched in highlight reels. Fast forward to September's circuits, and the reunion at a Shanghai qualifier pulses with electric undercurrents. No handshake this time, just nods across the net, respect rebuilt in the silence of serves. Tennis, for all its elegance, thrives on these human fractures, reminders that behind the baselines beat hearts as complex as the game's geometry. As Ostapenko claws back form with a Tokyo semis run, Townsend mentors young phenoms on resilience, their paths diverging yet intertwined in this saga's legacy. The final surprise? A joint charity exhibition announced for next spring, whispers of reconciliation turning rivalry into redemption, proving that even in the heat of battle, grace can volley back stronger. That's the raw, riveting truth behind the US Open's ugliest handshake. Thanks for tuning into Tennis Insider, where we serve up the stories that swing the sport. If this drama left you reeling, drop a like, comment your take on who owns the high ground, and subscribe for more insider scoops that'll keep your feed forehand. Catch the next ace. Peace out from the baseline.